I always feel for first-time managers because companies so rarely invest the time and resources necessary to ensure that they're taught not only the functional skills of their new role, but the people skills that will ensure they can lead others successfully, and it's not fair. My name is Mariana. I'm a first-generation professional and certified coach helping other first-gen pros and 21st century leaders navigate complex career environments. I was a former learning and development executive for over 20 years at some of the world's top companies, and here's the deal. If you've been promoted to the role of people manager and you receive onboarding at all, the company wants you to complete it for as little time and cost as possible, usually with the justification that they're short-staffed, very busy, and they need you to be working on the team ASAP. I had to fight tooth and nail to include leadership content that wasn't tied to operational tasks as part of the curriculum. And I insisted on it because I remember when I was a first-time manager and just how much of a tricky, uncertain transition that can be. When I was a first-time manager, one of the biggest things that I had to overcome, and I know a lot of first-time managers out there can probably relate to this as well, is not really knowing how to confidently claim my authority. Being a first-generation professional, I had some imposter syndrome, the kind that comes along with feeling like you're figuring out everything on the fly. And also not really being quite certain that what was working for people around me would be okay for me to mirror. And let's be honest, most organizations don't have a ton of human-centered people leaders that new managers can look up to and emulate. And for first-generation professionals, perceptions can feel even riskier. So I'm going to share with you a reframe that helped me comfortably claim my authority while remaining true and authentic to values of human-centered leadership. When you take on a people leadership position, whether you're overseeing one person or 20, there's a certain amount of what's known as positional power that comes along with the title. Positional power is a very traditional idea, and it's one that people most associate with being a boss. The problem with leaning on your positional power to establish authority, it defines power as having power over others. Symptoms of this are managers giving a lot of one-way push communication and having very transactional interactions with their team. The reframe that I invite you to consider is to see your role as one of influential power. Defined instead as having power over others, it's being in power with others. It doesn't mean that every decision you make must be consensus driven by your team, but it does require clearly communicating when you are exercising your authority. For example, being very clear in delineating when you are delegating a task versus asking. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges for first-time managers? Sound off in the comments and follow for more.